And we're going to be talking top 10 running backs for 2020 fantasy football. Top 5 running backs. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. Who we should put number 2 right here, correct? Barkley. We'll make this a strictly running back show. You ask another question that isn't running back related, guess what you get?
Take a lap.
Actually, no, you get this one. If you ask a non-running back question, you get this.
Make a dumb comment, take a lap. Take a lap.
Barkley number 2. Everybody okay with Barkley number 2? I got a non-running back question. Didn't we just say, clock, no non-running back questions?
Take a lap.
Barkley 2. Barkley, Cook 3. Kamara 3. Barkley, Cook. Henry 3. Cook. Drake 8. Cook. Okay, so that's clear as day. Zeke, Kamara, Zeke, Henry. I think it's safe to say that we could go for Zeke based on the voting. It's close, but I think this is kind of how this is the vibe I'm feeling. These are community rankings, not Smitty rankings. 5 would be Henry, based on what I'm seeing here. Based on what you're throwing down and putting out there, I'm thinking that's our top 5. Pretty damn good. Argue that. I dare you. Argue that. Somebody argue that. No Mixon in the top 5. Come on. I like Mixon a lot, Nathan, in the right situation. And it appears he could be walking into a much better one in 2020. I was all about avoiding him. That's the one thing that people will say, Smitty, you flip-flopping on Mixon? No, listen to what I'm telling you. Fantasy football isn't about your loyalty to your last freaking prediction. If you're worried about not flip-flopping, or if you're worried about saying 1 year a player is good and then bad the next year, or I don't like this player and the next year you like him, then you're probably not hitting on a lot of the finer points of fantasy football. It's about change, adapting, adjusting, understanding when you're wrong, moving on and moving forward from your busts and your bad calls. You have to understand that me not liking Mixon in 2019 has nothing to do with me liking or not liking Mixon in 2020. Mixon was going way too high in fantasy drafts in 2019, and I stayed clear away from the guy. But when we're ranking top 10 running backs for 2020 fantasy football, all right, who are we going with next? We got one Josh Jacobs, we have a Chubb, we have a Kamara, we have an Aaron Jones. Keep hitting me with it. Kamara, Chubb, Mixon. People are skeptical on Chubb. Kamara. Mixon, Kamara, Chubb, Kamara, Fournette, Kamara. Kamara's the guy. That's pretty clear. So number 6 is Alvin Kamara, which is a little higher in our community versus other communities, I will tell you. Know that. Know that if you go running back shopping. We'll talk about Hunt too. What's up, John? Eckler. I love it, Ryan. We'll talk Eckler, maybe crack it into this top 10. I love it. Drake. I love Drake. I love Drake and Eckler. I'm going into 2020. At least one of my teams, I'm going to have Drake and Eckler on a team. I just want it. I want that team in one of my leagues. I don't want it in a lot of leagues. I don't want all my eggs in one basket. Hell no. Drake and Eckler are kind of dangerously risky. But I would love to stack up at wide receiver and quarterback. Maybe you use this in the Lamar going early approach for you. Draft Lamar early. And with that, you need to adapt and adjust your strategy because you went QB early, right? So you go running back sleeper shopping and you get Drake and you get Eckler. Eckler may not be a discount, but you could get Eckler probably in the second round. Probably get Drake in the third or fourth right now, meaning you could get Lamar in the first and you could still have a third or a second depending on where Eckler goes. I think Eckler is going to go in the top of the second. As soon as Gordon news is official and people get that rush of, oh my God, he's actually all by himself. But what if they draft a rookie? Running backs fall so far, anything could happen. We'll talk about them later. Chubb feels like a consensus here. Chubb. Who's after Chubb? Who's after Chubby? I'm not saying Chubb's my number 7. I'm not saying he isn't really, but that's what you guys are throwing out. So I'm putting it up. That's what you guys are laying down. Anybody going Aaron Jones right here? Anybody going Melvin Gordon right here? We got a Mixon. We got a Jones. We got a Jones. We got an Aaron Jones. We have an Aaron Jones. pretty safe to say Aaron Jones, then probably Mixon based on your voting. So 8 is Aaron Jones. Carson, Mixon. We got a couple Fournettes in there. Jones is already locked into 8. Number 9 is going to be Mixon, according to you guys. Who's number 10? Are we going Eckler? Are we going... we've got... So, McCaffrey, Barkley, Elliott, Cook, Henry, Kamara, Jones, Chubby, Josh Jacobs, Fournette, or Eckler, or Gordon. That would be the only guys that make sense here. Miles Sanders is heating up Austin. Jones over Carson and Mixon. I agree, J-Dub. Jacobs. ETN, I love it, Jeremy, but not yet, but I love it. Jacobs. Mostert. Brian, are you a 49er homer? Mostert? Computer, how many yards did Raheem Mostert have in 2019?
Raheem Mostert rushed for 772 yards and had 180 receiving yards for the San Francisco 49ers. He averaged 48.2 rushing yards per game.
You can't have Mostert in your top 10 with those stats, bro. Jacobs is the pick. You guys voted. You guys said, that's it. We're only doing top 10. We're going to leave it suspenseful. So, McCaffrey, Barkley. These are community rankings, running back rankings, top 10 running back rankings for 2020 fantasy football community. These are not mine. I did have a little bit of a hand in the voting, but these are yours. McCaffrey, 1. Barkley, 2. Dalvin Cook, 3. Zeke Elliott, 4. Derrick Henry, 5. Argue that. I dare you. Like, I could swap Zeke and Cook or whatever, but those top 5 are, you could put Kamara maybe in there. The top 6, Kamara and Henry, throw them both in that top 6, and that's an amazingly accurate top 6 in my opinion. I don't see how you could argue that at all. I love ETN. I think Melvin, so we're going to talk about Melvin Gordon after this, J-Dub. Top 5 running back.
You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.